What is up, happy people? It's a Wednesday. It's your morning minute, 5280 Sports Network. That's Sean Drotar. I'm Nate Lundy. As we roll through Bucs week, it is week 4 in the National Football League. We got a couple other news and notes for you. First of all, I am thrilled because last night my phone kept going off. Kept doing the whole buzzing thing. You know why? Because I was getting Avalanche updates. Now, I know it was preseason, but I am so happy that hockey is back. All right, there you go. That's all your hockey talk you're going to get for this morning. I just have to tell you that I'm very happy about the fact that we're finally back to hockey season.
Yes, congratulations to goaltender Jeremy Smith for getting the win. Don't be surprised if you don't see him again at all.
Well, you know,
that's preseason hockey for you.
It's still hockey, and I like it. As we go through Bucs week, one of the things Shawn and I talked on the radio show this morning about, Mile High Sports Radio, weekday mornings from 7 to 9, we talked about the fact that it's kind of fun to go and see what's going on with your opponent. And right now, one of the big topics of conversation in Tampa about this Bucs team, Shawn, centers around just the a lot of blogs, a lot of columns being written about the idea that they still haven't turned the corner of their culture down there in terms of being a team that has had a culture of losing for a very long time. And to me, as a Broncos fan, I sit back and go, okay, good. This is a team I want to play.
Yeah, the notion of a team culture it's a pretty nebulous concept. You'll notice that there aren't a lot of teams that have bad records or consistently are bad that have a great culture. It's really more of a byproduct of winning, if it's even actually a thing you can define. So right now, the Bucs are having a bit of a crisis of conscience. They thought they'd be a little bit better this beginning part of the season. It hasn't worked out that way. A lot of turnovers by Jameis Winston, an 8-6 touchdown interception ratio. And of course, now they've had the injury to Doug Martin, which hampers their offense a great deal. But there's still a potential for risk for the Broncos because they have now sifted out their tight end situation. And that's one of the ways that you can actually get over on the Broncos a little bit. If there's a way to penetrate that best defense in the league, the tight end might be the best way to do it.
Yeah, I think the tight end, they've got Cameron Brate in there now that Austin Seferian-Jenkins has been cut. The team cut him after the DUI arrest. They've been looking for an excuse to get rid of him for a while, so not a really big surprise there. But Cameron Brate has stepped in. He had only 7 targets through the first 2 weeks and then 10 targets alone in week 10. So you can tell that they're going to try to lean on that tight end position. The Broncos with the no-fly zone, obviously a lot better at the deeper part of the defense and with those wide receivers than they necessarily are against the tight ends. That's one of the sacrifices you make when you put an emphasis on the defensive backfield. But you mentioned the injury to Doug Martin. Charles Sims will step in from a running back standpoint, and we saw the Broncos being willing against the Bengals to give up some of the yards on the ground in order to protect themselves from getting beaten by Andy Dalton. I would imagine that to a certain extent we're going to see some of that this upcoming Sunday.
I think so. I mean, Charles Sims is a talented back. He's not as talented as Jeremy Hill, so I think the Broncos are even more likely to do that. They're willing to go ahead and say, all right, we'll take our chances with their running game, and I think that'll be very effective, especially because they not only have an A.J. Green type receiver in Mike Evans, but they have another one on the other side in Vincent Jackson that's dangerous as too, the former UNC Bear for the local fans here as well. So I think the Broncos are going to do that. I think they are going to have a pretty good success in the running game, but that doesn't necessarily mean that much. The Broncos are betting that the running game and play with the tight end, that's not enough to get points the Broncos can't overcome with their offense, their newly confident offense over their, well, can we say it? Red-hot quarterback, Trevor Siemian.
The AFC Offensive Player of the Week, as a matter of fact, Trevor Siemian. So there you go. Some accolades coming to the Broncos' first-year starting quarterback with Siemian. As we go through the week, we will keep you updated on whether or not the Nuggets are at the Omaha Zoo and enjoying themselves as they do their training camp in Omaha. We'll keep an eye on that. And, of course, the Avs during preseason. But the Broncos and the Bucs coming up on Sunday. We'll have all the updates for you throughout the week. Make sure you check out the latest edition of Snake's Takes, Jake Plummer's podcast at 5280sportsnetwork.com. His guest this week, former Broncos receiver tight end Nate Jackson. A very entertaining conversation between those two. I will tell you, not safe for work language between the two of them. I'll just warn you right now. Make sure you're not listening to it with the kids in the car. But it's a very entertaining conversation between those two. Check that out at 5280sportsnetwork.com for Snake's Takes. For Sean Drotar, I'm Nate Lundy. We'll talk to you tomorrow.